Hello everyone and welcome to Young Minds Unplugged, a modern perspective on parenting. And I'm your host, Manisha.
And I'm Avaneesh, the young mind in the subject.
Join us on this journey where I will take you through how I simplified my parenting journey.
And what effect it had on me and shaped me into what I am.
So don't forget to tune into Young Minds Unplugged on Spotify, Instagram and YouTube on every Thursday for some exciting conversations. You know what? I still remember watching all your those animes, your cartoons with you. I don't know. You used to make me sit and make me watch, and I really liked that because I could understand your world. So when I used to and I had realized it that if I really need to tell you, because I remember you coming from school and binge watching Chhota Bheem or binge watching Ben 10 or then binge watching some other ones, and that was kind of always there were complaints. He's binge watching, you need to take control, and I think that's a very common complaint every parent has about TV addiction, that they keep on binge watching, they keep on watching certain things and they're addicted to TV. So, and you know what, at that point of time what I did, I thought to myself, okay, he's watching it, that means there will be something interesting in it. I must go and see what it is, and that's how I started watching it with you. Mm-hmm. You remember we used to sit together and watch, and I still remember this also. Earlier you used to have a binge watch 5 episodes, 6 episodes, and when I remember when we started watching it together, the episodes came down to 2, 3, because then I think somewhere I was able to convince you that okay, we are done, we've watched 2 episodes, why not now get to something else? Mm-hmm. So do you think that was helpful for you also to cut down on your binge watching?
Yes. Because it's like whenever I used to binge watch anime, like now in the recent past. Now I don't do it anymore because I made you watch it. Sometimes a few episodes I made you watch it. It actually got my countdown, the number of episodes which I watched. So I could keep better track of time then. Oh, I've watched for this much amount of time, now it's time to do something else.
Yeah, and you talking about the anime, I think, I'm very curious. You really made me watch those episodes, and I'll be very honest with you, I did not like them at all. For it was like, oh my god, they are so violent. Oh my god, what is this thing? And then I still remember when I told you this, why are you watching this? Is so violent. There's so much of blood around and there's so much of violence in the anime. And I remember you telling me, please focus on the storyline. The story is amazing. Please don't go by what is happening. It is the need of the story. It is the need of that thing. Okay, I took it, but I want to confess, it really didn't appeal. So tell me, what exactly appeals to you teenagers in that anime? I have heard many teenagers watching it, the parents complaining to me that they are addicted to anime. So you can throw some light on this. Why? Why?
Okay, so now this is a new concept. Anime is basically, for all those who don't know, it's a Japanese form of art. It's Japanese cartoons, but they're for a mature audience. Suppose like people who are growing up. So there are different categories of genres. In anime itself, there are different categories. There is shonen, which is young teenage boys. So now from the word young teenage boys, you can see that these are meant for us.
Okay.
So whatever I've watched, these are all, they relate. Or it just interests, like, because as males, as young teenage males, we love watching violence. Because it's in our primal instincts. We were hunters before.
Absolutely.
So we were hunters before, that's why we love watching violence.
Absolutely.
But the one which I made you watch, Vinland Saga, it's a really good show. Mostly for me it was not because of the whole fighting aspect and everything. Earlier it used to be like that because I used to see like basically it's the joy of seeing something like unravel, or like something, fight scenes are just basically very quick, they're very engaging, so that used to be very fun. But now that I've watched a lot of anime, the storyline of what the story brings, even if it's violent, even if it's anything, the message, it always has a message, which is usually not understood by parents, but the message is conveyed to us, and it actually inspires us. Anime is actually inspirational.
Oh.
Yes, it is inspirational. For suppose there is shonen anime usually, like there is a main character who has a goal in life, wants to become something. So to reach that goal, it's an interesting journey because it relates to us. We think of ourselves as them. We think of ourselves as the character. We're like, okay, right now I'm in this phase. I'm right now going through this. So So we see it as a parallel. Okay, he's fighting this certain character here. So that's what I am doing. I'm fighting this. I'm fighting my own struggles. So we relate to that. That's why we love anime. And it's not something about any. It's got nothing to do with violence. It only has to do with how we relate to it. How our life is related to it.
Okay, so can I say in this that now what I understand from what you're telling me about animes, is it that the animes also you relate to the emotions that you're going through during this phase?
Yes.
Do they bring out the emotions and can you relate to the emotions?
Yeah, so shonen anime is made in such a way that the characters are very loud and expressive. Just like the way we are.
The way.
Yeah.
But I guess you cannot be that expressive in actual life.
Actual life, you cannot.
You cannot. So then that's where you relate.
For people who have social anxiety or who can't speak up that much, when they see these characters and they basically feel then like, oh, we can also come out like this. Or there are anime in which the social like anxiety character has a development in himself, like, oh, I should not do this, I should not care about what the world thinks, I should do what I want and I should build on that because it will get me nowhere.
Fantastic.
So that I've watched a bunch of shows like that and it has gotten me through, like I've helped some of my friends as well, like, oh, who have social anxiety, and they have gotten out of that phase and they are doing really good for themselves.
That's a fantastic message.
So that anime has taught me.
I mean, that's great. I mean, this is something new for me also because I was also wondering, why are you watching anime? Of course, I watched 2 or 3 episodes. Like I told you, I couldn't relate to them much. Maybe if I would have watched more of it, maybe I could have also related to it. But now I get the clarity that why teenagers watch this, and you're absolutely right. And coming from the point where you're talking about the hunting perspective, I think I have been this is a very good point, because I have parents during my counselings, I have parents talking to me about this, that okay, they are aggressive, they want to do this, and they play these boys especially.
Boys, yes.
They play these rash games or they play these violent games and all. And I've always been telling them, yes, let them play because that is where we come from. It's an evolutionary perspective. We have grown as hunters. Males have been hunters. Women have been nurturers. So, there's a difference. You'll find a girl, she's a nurturer, so she will be playing with dolls or she'll be playing with soft games which are there. And the boys will be playing with the rash and violent games which are there. So, there's a difference. This difference is very, very biological, very, very natural. And I think the hunter instinct that we still carry as males carry in them, I think that hunter instinct is sufficed or maybe satisfied by playing these games.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I think that's a very good point. And I think, kids must play these games to a certain extent. Like I always believe in this, that there always has to be balance in everything. So once you're done with that, your hunter instinct, the kid should not get kind of carried away too much into it.
Yes.
Okay. Nor should they totally curb themselves from playing these games.
Because these kind of games, they make you express basically. So whatever you're doing in actual social life, they make you express.
Absolutely.
So you don't fall into certain things like that. But sometimes it may not be like, there are cases in which these are pretty violent games and people are still in that curve. But usually like 90% of the time, if you play these games, you'll become basically more, like I say, confident.
Okay,
you become more confident.
So you're saying
you're
that
able to speak out your thoughts and express
you
yourself.
say that you can express, or maybe that can be the time when you are. That becomes your platform. That becomes your space for.
That is also one kind of space. So
wow, that's amazing.
Playing video games is like, it helps you develop character basically. Like you have these ideas. Like video games are designed, why? Because some creator is there. He puts a bunch of series together and create, like he makes basically a work of art. You would say that in the Renaissance they used to make wall paintings and arts, right? So this is an art form. So we are just, as humans, we have this curiosity towards this thing. So, and as males, we love violence. So we have this curiosity towards these kind of games, and this is what. So we learn from them, and then we have also like a creative development in our minds.
Amazing. So I think that's a very interesting point, and I think I would like to point out over here, and a small message for the parents out here, that you heard what Avaneesh is being saying as a teenager, and he spoke about the anime. So yes, I think there's no need to worry about your kids playing these violent games or watching the anime. Like what he mentioned, yes, they get the platform to express, they relate to those emotions which are happening, and maybe it also is helping them in some or the other way. But here I can definitely say that we can have a disclaimer out here, or we can have a pointer out here, that just keep a watch that your kids do not get carried away too much. There has to be a balance. So keep on asking. And one more very important thing I would like to bring to notice of the parents over here is get involved. Please go and watch it with them. Like maybe what I did with my son. He made me watch 1 or 2 episodes, because when I confronted him that why are you watching this, he's like, okay mom, why don't you sit with me and see what I'm watching? So you enter my world and see. So I guess that yes, we can take that step. We can definitely get into their world, because as parents we are very eager that our kids should come into our world. They should become mature and adult and like us very soon. But are we ready to enter in their world and understand their world? That's a big question. And I think every parent must address this. Every parent must think about it, that okay, are we willing to enter their world? The moment you step into their world is the time you'll be able to connect with the kids on a very different level. That is where you'll create a very conducive and a very nice environment where they can come and communicate with you. The trust factor will go high. The communication will happen very easily. It will start flowing in a very easy way. So from my experience of being a parent and my son sitting here and sharing his experience about his journey, I think that these are few things that we as parents must be mindful about. There has to be conscious parenting. I call it more of a conscious parenting, a mindful parenting, where giving space to the child is very important, is number one. And secondly, I feel very important point is that entering their world to understand their world, to better connect with them, is one thing that parents really, really need to do. The modern age parents need to take this step of understanding their kids. So I think that is really a very nice thing. So what do you think, Avneesh?
Yes, definitely. Whatever you said, that all sums it up. You give us our space, and yeah, the point about entering into our world, our perspective. Basically, see the world from our perspective.
Yes.
I mean, because as parents, you also have gone through the exact same thing. It's just the era is different.
Yes.
You're right. So you just have to relive it a little bit.
Yes.
I
think that is the point we are trying to make over here. So this is a small message for the teenagers as well as the parents who are watching this episode. The message for the teenagers is yes, balance. Have balance. Take whatever is very constructive for you as a person from when you're watching the anime or when you're playing the games. Just take a little bit of accounting of what emotions are helping you or are being helped out to express, and how you can express, and how is it calming down, how is it helping you. A little bit of account, a little bit of being mindful when you're playing the games is for the teenagers. They can do that. And yes, for the parents, of course, like I mentioned, please walk into their world, understand their world, and yes, you will be able to communicate with them in their language from their perspective. And I think nothing can be better to build a strong bond between you and your kids than being able to communicate from their perspective. So with this, we thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for joining me today. And if you have any queries or if you would like to share your journey, then reach out to us on contact@thoughtincubators.com. Thank you very much.